Now, I'm really hoping that they're going to show more of this on the next dev stream at the end of May, and maybe Pablo might go over some clips on social media, who knows. But on last night's dev stream, or dev short, sorry, with Rebecca and Megan while streaming with the band Era, they found just a little bit of time to show off the Incarnon Stug. And I think the description that Rebecca used was that, what if the Stug was turned up to 11? This is the footage in the background, and it does look, okay, it is a kind of GIF, so the frame rate is really bad, but it does look like a cluster kind of goo bomb gun now with the Incarnon form. The goo balls are huge, and they look like they bounce and multiply while maybe exploding into larger AoE effects as well. So goo balls making more and more goo balls. Let me know in the comment section below what you think of, I guess, the idea of the Stug being an absolute powerhouse. Now, can I be honest? I legit thought, wouldn't it be funnier to just keep rolling with the gimmick of it being an average or basically an underpowered weapon? Like, imagine you get the Incarnon Stug, right, and it misfires, or it jams, or the goo balls float up into the air like balloons instead of actually killing anything. But every so often, maybe one round actually hits and nukes an entire room. It would be kind of funny, but let me know in the comment section below what you think, like I said, of the Stug Incarnon and what they showed. Now, they also showed a little bit more of the damage over time dot effect that's going to show on enemy health bars that they spoke about in the last dev stream. And JT from Era had a great question about whether slash dots and toxic dots and heat dots will have different colours depending on which element it would be. And I don't think that's going to be the case. It did sound like all dots would basically have the same dot indicator on those enemy health bars to show just how much health those dots are going to consume. Also, JT from Era, also, who has nearly 2,000 hours in Warframe, which absolutely blows my mind and means Frost, is clearly a man of feckin' taste, also suggested colour coding additive and maybe multiplicative damage bonuses to make Warframe's modding or build crafting on the stats page easier to understand at a glance for new players, or I guess any players that doesn't understand it, which would be absolutely huge for us. Again, not sure whether that's going to be added. We did get to see a little bit of Nidus' Ravenous ability with more range, which does look much better. Now, they didn't go into a full deep dive as to what his abilities and the changes that are coming are going to look like, but they did show one very noticeable part, which was the Ravenous scaling with range, and with a high range build it seems to look like it can cover a massive area. It also looks much better, spreading across floors, walls like a proper infestation carpet, almost like Uriel's heat effect. Now, Rebecca also said that your choice of baby name at the end of the Jade Shadow's quest is going to matter for the Constellation update when it comes in June, but it's not going to lock you out of any content. Like, you can still have Garuda or Vina on your ship if you didn't pick Sirius as the name, and vice versa and so on, so you are all good once the update goes live. There's no lockout going to happen. Now, another thing that was brought to my attention after yesterday's video, which I think is really cool but random as all hell, is Orion and Sirius are two famous constellations, right? Both names more than likely would have made their way into Warframe at some stage over the years, since it is a game set in space and constellations are basically key to that. But there are actually community-made concepts for frames and weapons with these names dating back years on the Design Council in Warframe, which is for founders. Now, there's a really cool concept by a founder for a frame in 2013 called Orion, with an ability literally called Constellation, which is the same name as the new Jade update coming in June. This concept had barriers and star-themed abilities. Then there's another Orion the Hunter Warframe concept from 2014, who is a rugged styled hunter and wields an ancient Orokin revolver called Sirius. And now, over a decade later, Warframe is officially bringing Orion and Sirius into the spotlight through Jade Shadow's Constellation, and the community already had those names floating around in concept form for years. So while it is, without a doubt, random happenstance, it is very Warframe that a pair of names tied to Stalker, Jade, Destiny and Eternalism somehow already had ghost versions concepted by players sitting in the forums 13 years ago. So that's pretty much the dev short. I will link it in the video's description. Let me know what you think of the Stug Incarnon especially, and of course what you think of the range changes to Nidus' Ravenous ability. Have a great day, have a great week, and as always, thanks for watching.